Close your eyes for just a moment and feel the quiet truth that you are creating your tomorrow with what you choose to think today. Not with strain, not with pressure, not with perfection, just with the small, steady thoughts you return to again and again, like footsteps on a familiar path. And if you notice that your mind wants to say, "But you don't understand. My life is complicated. My problems are real. I do understand. I have seen so many people carry heavy thoughts for years and call it being realistic. And I want you to know something tender and freeing. Your experiences are real, and your feelings are real, and still, the thoughts you practice become the language your life responds to." You see, most of us were never taught that a thought is simply something passing through the mind, not the boss of our life. We were taught to believe our thoughts the way a child believes a loud voice in the room. If the mind says, "It won't work," we think, "It won't work." If the mind says, "You're not enough," we think, "I'm not enough." And then the body tightens, the breath shortens, and we start living as if those sentences are facts carved into stone. But this is only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Just let that land softly inside you, like a warm blanket over the shoulders. This is only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Now, I'm not asking you to pretend everything is wonderful if it isn't. That's not kindness. That's another way of abandoning yourself. What I'm inviting you into is something much more gentle and much more powerful. I'm inviting you to notice the thoughts you are living inside of, because your thoughts are building your tomorrow, not in one dramatic moment, but in quiet repetition. When you repeat a thought long enough, it stops feeling like a thought and starts feeling like reality. It becomes the lens you see through. It becomes the tone of your voice. It becomes the way you walk into a room. It becomes the choices you do and do not make. It becomes the opportunities you do and do not see. Have you ever noticed how two people can live in the same world and yet experience completely different lives? One person sees doors, another sees walls. One person hears possibility, another hears danger. One person expects kindness, another expects disappointment. Often it is not life that is different. It is the thinking. And I say that with compassion, not blame, because we didn't choose our earliest thoughts consciously. Many of them were given to us. We absorbed them the way the skin absorbs sunlight, without asking. We absorbed the tone of the adults around us. We absorbed what was praised and what was criticized. We absorbed what felt safe and what felt risky. We absorbed beliefs about love, about money, about the body, about aging, about success, about being seen, about being heard, about whether we have to earn everything the hard way. And then one day we look around and think, how did I get here? And I want to whisper something tender. You got here one thought at a time, and that means you can go somewhere new, one thought at a time. The wonderful news is this: the mind can learn a new direction the same way it learned the old one. You learned fear by repetition. You learned self-criticism by repetition. You learned doubt by repetition. And you can learn trust by repetition. You can learn self-respect by repetition. You can learn peace by repetition. You don't have to force it. You don't have to fight your mind like it's an enemy. You can teach it like you would teach a child. When a child is learning to write their name, you do not slap their hand when they miss a letter. You don't say, "See, you're hopeless." You smile, you encourage, you guide, you let them practice. And that is how you work with the mind. With patience, with steadiness, with love. Now, let's talk about tomorrow. Because many people feel afraid of tomorrow. They think of tomorrow like a storm coming toward them. They imagine disappointment. They rehearse rejection. They anticipate loss, and their body lives in that rehearsal, as if the imagined future is already happening. Notice that, because your body is always listening. The body is so wise. It responds to your thoughts as if they are commands. If you think, "I'm not safe," the body tightens. If you think, "I can't handle it," the stomach clenches. If you think, "Nothing ever works out," the shoulders slump. If you think, "I'm alone," the chest can feel heavy. So when we change our thoughts, we are not just changing words. We are changing the signals we send to the body. We are changing our relationship with ourselves. And this is where your power begins. The point of power is always in the present moment. Not in yesterday's mistakes, not in tomorrow's worries. Right now, you can notice what you're thinking. Right now, you can soften a harsh sentence. Right now, you can choose a kinder thought to practice. And you may say, "But my mind is so loud." Yes, and it has practiced being loud. The mind that worries has often been trying to protect you. It thinks, "If I rehearse every possible disaster, maybe I can prevent pain." And isn't that sweet in a way? Isn't that the mind trying to be helpful, even though it exhausts you? So we don't shame the worried mind, we thank it, and then we redirect it. You might say quietly inside yourself, "Thank you for trying to protect me, and I am willing to choose a thought that supports me now." Feel how that changes the energy, softness instead of war. Now let's go a little deeper, because beneath many of our worried thoughts is a younger part of us asking to be loved. So many of the thoughts that create our tomorrow were formed when we were small. A child learns quickly, "If I am quiet, I won't be a burden." Or, "If I am perfect, I will be loved." Or, "If I don't ask, I won't be disappointed." Or, "If I stay small, I won't be attacked." And the child grows up, and the body grows, and the calendar changes, but the inner program can remain. And then, as an adult, you may find yourself shrinking when you want to shine, or apologizing when you did nothing wrong, or overworking to earn rest, or expecting rejection before anyone speaks. And you might think, "What is wrong with me?" Nothing is wrong with you, sweetheart. You learned a strategy, you learned a thought pattern, and you can learn a new one. This is only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Now I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine your mind is a garden, a beautiful garden, and in this garden every thought is a seed. Some seeds were planted long ago, some seeds were planted by other people, some were planted by moments of pain, some were planted by moments of joy. And your attention is the water. Whatever you water grows. If you water worry all day, worry grows tall. It becomes the tree you sit under. If you water resentment, resentment becomes thick and thorny. If you water self-criticism, it spreads like vines, wrapping around your confidence. But if you water kindness, kindness grows. If you water trust, trust grows. If you water the belief that you are worthy, that grows. Now, I want you to hear this very clearly. In a garden, you don't stand there screaming at the weeds. You don't shame the soil for having weeds. You don't hate yourself because weeds exist. You simply decide what you want to grow, and you nourish that. And over time, the garden changes. Your thoughts are like that. You don't have to win a battle against every negative thought. You simply have to choose again and again what you will feed. And I know this to be true because I have seen it in the lives of so many people. People who were certain they would never change. People who were convinced they were just this way. People who carried decades of self-hatred and turned it into self-respect, not by force, but by practice, little by little, day by day, thought by thought. Now let's bring this into your real life, because tomorrow isn't just a date on the calendar. Tomorrow is your relationships. Tomorrow is your work. Tomorrow is your health. Tomorrow is your creativity. Tomorrow is your peace. Your thoughts are building your tomorrow in all these places. So let's look gently at a few common thought seeds. One seed is, I'm not good enough. When you water that seed, tomorrow becomes a life where you hold back. You don't apply, you don't speak up, you settle, you accept less than you deserve. You wait for permission that never comes. Another seed is, I have to struggle. When you water that seed, tomorrow becomes heavy. Even good opportunities feel exhausting. You distrust ease. You think if it's not hard, it won't last. And you might unconsciously create difficulty because it feels familiar. Another seed is, people can't be trusted. When you water that seed, tomorrow becomes lonely. Even when love arrives, you keep one foot out the door. You look for proof that it will fail, and you may miss the tenderness that was truly there. Another seed is, my body is a problem. When you water that seed, tomorrow becomes a lifetime of war with yourself. And the body, the dear body, it hears your words. Now, we are not here to judge any of these seeds. We are here to notice them and choose what we want instead, because you deserve good things. And yes, sometimes the mind says, but what if I hope and I'm disappointed? And I understand that fear, but I want you to consider something. If you expect disappointment, you are already living it. The pain is already in your chest, even before anything happens. What if you chose hope as an act of self-love, not as a guarantee, not as denial, but as a gift you give yourself in the present moment? Hope is a kindness. Now we begin gently, with words that are like warm hands holding your heart. I am willing to think a new thought. Notice how different that is from forcing yourself to believe something you can't yet believe. I am willing opens a door. So take a slow breath with me, in and out, and again, in and out. And silently or out loud if you like, say, I am willing to think a new thought. Just feel that. I am willing to think a new thought. Now you may notice resistance. The mind might say, that won't help. And we don't fight it. We simply say, that's an old thought. And we return. I am willing to think a new thought. You see, you are not trying to jump from fear to perfection. You are building a bridge from where you are to where you want to be. And that bridge is made of willingness. Now, I'd like to share a simple practice you can use anytime your mind starts building a painful tomorrow. I call it the thought pause. It goes like this. When you notice a painful thought, you pause, and you say gently, this is only a thought. Then you breathe, and you ask, does this thought support my life? And if the answer is no, you choose a kinder thought. Not a fake thought, a kinder thought. For example, if the mind says everything is going to fall apart, a kinder thought might be, I am doing the best I can in this moment, and I will take the next step. If the mind says nobody cares about me, a kinder thought might be, I am learning to care for myself, and I am open to receiving support. If the mind says, I always mess things up, a kinder thought might be, I am learning and it is safe to grow. If the mind says, I'm too late, a kinder thought might be, life has perfect timing and I begin where I am. Can you feel the difference? The kinder thought doesn't erase reality. It changes your relationship to reality. It gives you room to breathe. It gives your nervous system a message of safety, and from safety, you can make wise choices. Now let's talk about something important. Some people believe that thoughts alone are enough, and they blame themselves when life is still challenging. I don't want that for you. Life is a journey. Sometimes there are storms, sometimes there are losses, sometimes there are unexpected changes. But your thoughts determine how you move through those experiences, whether you abandon yourself or hold yourself with love. And that is the real power. Because when you hold yourself with love, you begin to see options. You begin to notice helpers. You begin to recognize opportunities. You begin to take better care of your body. You begin to speak your truth. You begin to make choices aligned with your worth. And that, over time, builds a new tomorrow. Let me tell you a little story. I knew someone who woke up every morning with the thought, something is wrong. Before they even opened their eyes, they searched for trouble. And you can imagine what kind of days they had. They found problems everywhere. Traffic felt like an attack. A delayed message felt like rejection. A small ache in the body felt like a disaster. One day they decided to practice a new first thought. Not a perfect thought, just a new one. They chose, today I will be gentle with myself. That was it. And at first it didn't feel true. It felt unfamiliar, but they kept practicing, and slowly their days changed. Not because nothing went wrong, but because they stopped adding suffering on top of life. They stopped arguing with reality all day. They met life with softness, and the world responded differently to them because they responded differently to themselves. Now I want you to think about the first thought you often have in the morning. Is it, I'm tired? Is it, I don't want to do this? Is it, here we go again? That first thought is a seed, and you can choose a new one. Just one. Something like, I am open to a good day, or life loves me and I love myself, or I am safe in this moment, or I choose peace, one breath at a time. And if the mind says, that's silly, you can smile and say, so is suffering, because suffering is often just a habit of thought. Now let's bring the body into this, because your tomorrow is not built only in the mind. It's built in the way the body carries you. So gently notice your shoulders right now. Are they lifted? Let them soften. Notice your jaw. Unclench. Notice your belly. Let it relax. And as you relax the body, you make it easier to choose a new thought. The body and the mind are partners. Now I want to invite you into a moment of mirror work, and you can do this later if you prefer. You don't have to do it right now. Just listen. Mirror work is simple, and it can be very powerful. You stand in front of a mirror, you look into your own eyes, and you speak to yourself with kindness. Many people find this difficult at first. They look away. They feel embarrassed. They feel grief. They feel anger. All of that is okay. If you feel anything, it means something is opening. And you can begin with one gentle sentence, something like, I am here for you. Just that, I am here for you. Because so many of us grew up feeling like nobody was really there for us emotionally. And the deep healing happens when we become the loving presence we always needed. Now, I want you to hear this. You do not have to wait for the world to approve of you before you love yourself. You don't have to wait until you lose weight, make more money, find the perfect partner, fix every flaw, heal every wound. You can begin now, because self-love is not the reward for being perfect. Self-love is the foundation that makes growth possible. When you love yourself, you choose better thoughts. When you love yourself, you take better care. When you love yourself, you stop tolerating what hurts you, and that builds tomorrow. Now let's return to the garden. In a garden, there is weather. Some days are sunny, some days are rainy, some days the wind blows hard. Your emotions are like weather. You may wake up with sadness. You may have a day where anxiety blows through you like a storm. You may feel anger rise like heat. This is not failure. This is weather. And what do we do in weather? We dress appropriately. We seek shelter. We don't argue with the sky. So when an emotion comes, you can say, it is okay to feel what I feel. And then you can ask, what thought is creating this feeling? Because feelings are often responses to thoughts. Not always, but often. If you feel tightness, check the thought. If you feel heaviness, check the thought. If you feel panic, check the thought. And then, with tenderness, you can offer the mind a new thought. Now I want to talk about one of the strongest builders of tomorrow, Self-talk. The way you speak to yourself is shaping your future. Some people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to a child. They say things like, "You idiot, you always ruin everything. What's wrong with you?" And then they wonder why they feel small. You see, you are listening. Your inner child is listening. Your body is listening. So if you want a kinder tomorrow, begin with kinder self-talk today, even if it feels awkward, even if it feels forced, because you are repatterning. Here is a gentle way to begin. When you catch yourself being cruel inside, pause and say, "I am learning to speak to myself with love." And then say something kind, something simple, something like, "I'm doing my best," or "I can handle this one step at a time," or "I love you." Yes, you can say "I love you" to yourself, and if you feel resistance, that's okay. Resistance is just an old thought guarding an old door. You don't have to kick the door down, you just keep knocking with love. Now let's speak about tomorrow in a very practical way. Tomorrow is built by the choices you make when you feel uncomfortable. When you feel discomfort, do you reach for old habits? Do you overeat, overspend, overwork, overthink, overgive? Do you numb out? Do you shut down? Do you lash out? This is not shameful. It is human. But you can change your response. And the first change is always awareness. So next time discomfort comes, try this. Place a hand on your heart and breathe and say, "I am safe in this moment, all is well in my world." And then ask, what do I need right now? Sometimes the answer is rest. Sometimes the answer is a boundary. Sometimes the answer is movement. Sometimes the answer is water.